Hello. Uh, hey everyone, this is NanachiSR or Wetsy 517. You know. Wait. Everything should be working, right? I'm always skeptical about this stuff. Anyway, I'm Nanachi or Wed. And this is 100 Egg. So, we'll get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, Spyro 3 100 Egg is essentially like the no major skips category of Spyro 3. It's just have like a barrier between like any percent and the 100% categories. So the goal of this category is, as the name implies, to collect 100 eggs, which is the requirement to fight the sorceress. Overall, throughout this run, you will probably not be seeing me grab any gems because they aren't really actually needed for the run. So coming up in Sunnyville, we have something called like a dead body or a corpse proxy. I'll perform it first, then I'll explain it after. Probably after I do all of them. Well, I was kind of expecting this start. Okay. What is happening? There we go. Alright, well, that was not ideal. Simply say. Sunnyville overall is a level. It's just we're just grabbing a few of the closest and quickest eggs. For the most part, getting to the end of the level. But anyway, one more proxy right here. Good. Okay, I can try to explain proxies now. So, with this game, Spyro has two different... Yes, it is a level. Proxies in this game are related to the two different states that Spyro has in terms of like his hitbox. There's the charging state where Spyro has like a hitbox that overpowers most other enemies' hitboxes. And then there's his standard state in which he gets pushed around by those hitboxes. So what we end up doing with pretty much most proxies in this game is you want to quick change Spyro's state while you're inside of an enemy's hitbox. And doing that, when you're already charging, Spyro, of course, is able to go through. But as soon as you change to some other animation, the game realizes, oh crap, I'm not supposed to be in here, and ejects you out immediately and as fast as it can. So what's generally done with proxies is you end up hitting the X button when you're inside of the enemy's hitbox. And what this does when you're already charge jumping is it gives you a frame of like gliding animation, which switches up Spyro's hitbox so that you're now being forced out of the hitbox. If that sounded extremely convoluted, I'm sorry. Also, yeah, Sunnyville is sometimes the only level. because it is the hardest level. Okay, now going to the level that I'm actually currently in, called Spires. What I did at the start of the level was something that's pretty common throughout this game. There are a lot of times side area load zones tend to bleed outwards a little more than necessary. So in that case, I was able to tap the very back of the Sunseed's loading zone just through the back of the area. Coming up here is a small little trick where end up abusing the momentum that you gain from jumping right as you exit bell towers to be able to change the momentum that you have when you end up exiting the area, causing you to be able to start gliding a little bit higher up so you can go straight over to the island egg a lot quicker. There are also other fairly fast ways up there, but they're all not as fast. Next up, I'm going to be doing a combination of a couple different tricks. One being a super fly jump, which I'll be using to get out of bounds, and then I will be doing something called a swim in air. Or I won't be doing a super fly jump. I am so sorry with my gameplay today, honestly. Thank you. Right there. So, as you can see, my consistency with anything in this game is currently non-existent because I've been too busy practicing my other game. I will just say that offhand, I'm sorry. This is most definitely going over estimate.
Thanks again.
One thing to note about every level in this game, or like every level with a portal, so not bosses or anything like that, they have loading triggers put underneath the map. Something that the devs did to help make it easier to be able to store the levels. Instead of actually like hiding them somewhere, they put them directly under where they are, so when they're accessible, they just move them up into place. Which is very convenient, especially when you're able to get out of bounds in so many places in this game, allowing you to be able to skip into pretty much every level of the game. It's not done near as often as other categories. I screwed up something there. Yeah, the going out of bounds to enter a level is not used as often in this category as others. Like, most of the time I'm going to be doing it is to enter a side character level, just because they cost a lot of gems. And I think that's actually the only instances that I do it. Anyway, that was Shiloh. It's not too much really happens in the level. There was just like a bit of like RNG related to enemy movements, some small optimizations. Next up, we of Molten Crater, which starts right off the bat with something called an animation proxy. And what this is doing the same inputs as I've explained before, but with an enemy's specific animation instead of through their hitbox after they've already died. Next up, you'll be seeing a new side character, Sergeant Bird. And to get there, it's once again through some loading zones that bleed through a little more than they should. And I'm falling. Wow. Have I said that I'm sorry? I am so incredibly sorry.
Hello, Spyro. Here.
Thanks, Sarah. Noodles percent now. I might be able to do that in 58 minutes, considering the pace that I've been going at. Next up is Seashell Shore, actually the longest level in the run. Whoa, Saboomer. It's that boy. Yeah, this level is reasonably long just because it has a lot of eggs that are like just on the edge of being considered viable in terms of speed. And it's got multiple of those eggs, so it ends up equating out to quite a bit of extra time. See if I can get something specific with the first egg here in Sheila.
Oh, hi, Spyro.
There's something with a 1-frame window with Sheila upon getting an egg. And I kind of got it. I got close. If you end up doing that just right, when you end up changing a direction and hitting R1 and doing your inputs just right with Sheila, you will start to walk without holding the D-pad at all, which can be used during egg cutscenes to be able to just walk away during them. It's incredibly precise, though. I'm gonna try to go for another Shell Rannoch proxy outside of this. See if I can go directly to Pluto. Nice. right? So this is Budo. This fight overall is fairly consistent. And as I say that, he did something different. So that's cool. Yeah, not too many people know about or really go for that proxy. So I actually screwed up like almost every bit of manipulation there. That fight still ended up being okay in terms of speed. Oh, that was cool. I got a nice little glitch there with the audio. Every once in a while with eggs in this game, like once in a blue moon, you'll end up hatching an egg and it will be like the audio will be corrupted or something, so it'll be like way higher than usual, or it's like the lower sound is gone. Yeah, being fast at Bluto is by no means easy, but it can be made consistent. But yeah, it didn't go exactly according to plan, but it was fine. That was actually not a pitch bend, though, Mega. That was just the game. Did I know? Oh, wow. Holy heck. All right, so that was the worst sunrise spring I've probably done in years. Let's go.
Listen carefully.
Next, we have the most manipulatable boss fight in the run, which is Buzz. You will see what I mean by most manipulatable in a second. So if you stand near the edge, Buzz has this buzzsaw attack that usually moves around like the entire arena and wastes a bunch of time. But if you stand near the edge of the level, it gets cut off. And then he also has like a fire ring, which by manipulating the camera in a way where he's off screen, it actually just negates the attack entirely. That's kind of a common theme with Spyro games. If something is off screen, it's not happening. Sorry about that. That was muscle memory towards nothing that I'm doing. I don't know why I exited. Next up, we have another swim in air, which will be done through the bridge. There's some weird stuff with collisions sometimes in this game, and with this water in particular, it tends to rise and fall in a way that it allows you to push your hitbox up through the bridge. From there, you're able to get over the lip and just get a swim in air from the water trigger. Now, one thing I'll be going for here is a cutscene overlap. You can overlap the Enchanted Towers portal opening with this egg. I missed it though, so that sucks. Not too big of a deal though. And we just go under the ground and into Sergeant Bird from the totally normal spot.
Accepted.
So, because Sergeant Bird was so short before, I never actually explained much about like the movement or anything. Normally, if you're like playing as Sergeant Bird casually, the movement overall is fairly cumbersome and does not feel good at all. But speed-wise,
Sir.
what's generally done is you hold both the strafe buttons, and it causes Sergeant Bird not only to generally move and accelerate faster, it also allows you to be able to control his movements a lot more precisely. Also, with this level, I had been aiming for specific enemies to either like speed up the level in itself or to end up.
Mission.
Wow, I wonder why Nanachi sounds peculiar. Similar to Wed C517. That's how you pronounce that, right? Very easy, quick thief right there. Same for the tree and flame charge. Easy every time.
When you see a what?
Let's go for another card proxy here. Nice.
You are.
This is the best glitch in the entire game, as you can obviously see why. That is done entirely by manipulating the camera to be away from the Firefly, by the way. In the next level, there is the last type of proxy that is seen in the run. So far, you've seen dead body or corpse proxies. You've seen animation proxies. And in this level, you'll be seeing something called a squeeze proxy. So the thing about squeeze proxies is you take a space that is too small for Spyro to fit in a certain direction. So you fit Spyro in the way that he can fit, and then you turn to a direction that he can't fit. That was a really high one. So, a good way to think about that, usually what we like to use is a soap analogy. Like, let's say you have wet hands and you're holding a bar of soap. If you squeeze the bar of soap, it is generally going to squeeze out of your hand. Or, like, fly out of your hand. Just from being squeezed so hard. But yeah, the way that I ended up getting that proxy in particular looked a little, or like the result was a bit different than usual. Thief Egg is actually stored underneath the bridge because reasons. It's very convenient because that is one of the most annoying thieves to grab in the game.
Oh,
Preemptive rip headphone users in about a minute. Enchanted Towers is a very simple level. There isn't actually really anything going on in this entire level. you grab an egg, and then you go to the end. No special movement or anything, it's just bonk it, actually. And maybe I should have grabbed the extra lives in Bamboo. In before, I'm probably going to game over in ICP. So we learned more recently, actually, that it's slightly faster to just stand right in front of the guy at the end of the level. Like, it's something at like a fraction of a second. Just because you're already there, it starts his text box a little bit faster instead of teleporting you there and then getting the hitbox, or then starting the text box. Starting the hitbox. It has been a long week. And the week is just starting. Nice jump. You know, I saw this coming. I really did. Even my practice run went better than this. Sorry if I'm sounding so pessimistic. I'm playing so far under my ability right now that I'm just like, I'm kind of disappointed in myself, frankly. Okay, I'm going to stop going for the strat now. There's a nice strat that you can go for there by using the momentum of supercharge. You can get a flame charge jump. Yep. It requires a game over in ICP. Right now, since Thieves is over, now comes the rest of the precise jumps of the level. First up, we have a jump from this pedestal over to that egg, but it's a funny joke because I got something called a stutter jump. I got the skill point there because I've been dying a lot.
Let's hit him.
Alright. And there is the worst midday I've done in a while. I'm catching a trend with this run. I will say this right now that I actually do not want to see or hear the end time of this run. So please, no one tell me. Well, it's White Paws. Whoa, I'm. Thanks, game. Can I move on to my reignited trilogy run yet? I feel like I'm actually going to cry.
Listen to me, Drake.
I've really not been wanting to try to express my emotion with this run. But it's just been so bad. Thanks, guys. I'll try to make sure not to go too overboard for you guys.
It looks like
Fair enough. Coming up in a moment, we have the best side character in the game, known as Crack Monkey. You will see why I call him Crack Monkey soon. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I've been so overboard with preparing with Reignited Trilogy that I haven't actually been playing much of the original Spyro 3 all week. No, I'm not doing Agent Spyro.
Hey, Spyro.
Nerf probably showed that off anyway.
Hi, Agent Nine.
So this is why we call him Crack Monkey. Or at least I do. This is why I don't have nice things. Oh, why did you go that way? So the requirement to perform this movement is to hold the D-pad, hold L1, and start mashing R1 through this fast, like, strafe pumping, or what we call zigzagging. You can just build up speed indefinitely.
Thanks for what?
Well, indefinitely is a stretch. Eventually, this game allows you to go so fast that it overflows and you just start going backwards. I don't want to forget about Reignited, though, Super Dawn. I actually like it.
Be careful, man.
At the end of this level, I will have a frame perfect trick that I will be aiming to go for, which is very useful when it comes to collecting some eggs fast, as well as being able to enter Bentley's outpost. We call it zombie glitch, and what essentially it will be is I will be hitting the pause button the frame that I end up taking damage from something, or if the damage is going to kill me specifically, that's when it's done. So there's a 1 frame discrepancy between you taking damage and the game realizing that you are dead. So you can take advantage of this by pausing during that first frame and then exiting the level. So right now, I'm in this weird state for the game. It doesn't really know what it should be doing. So something special with Zombie is that you get frozen to whatever state you're already put in. So for instance, if you're swimming like this, the game, because the game thinks you're dead, it's going to keep you swimming. Same thing happens if you end up exiting a level on land. If you decide to enter water, the water isn't there. Along with that, I abused the the mechanics with Zoe in this game. It's that Zoe, along with the position that you're in, will save whatever state you were also in. So if you were swimming, she will save you as being swimming. So if you die and respawn, you'll still be swimming even if you're on land.
I will.
That egg back there, that Subi egg, as you saw, you can barely grab from out of bounds. And actually, if you end up skipping the egg cutscene, it will force you back inbounds.
If you use your.
So we're able to grab it out of bounds, waste a little time from watching the cutscene, but still enter right into still able to enter right into Bentley right afterwards. So I've already been in this for a little while, but Bentley's outpost is actually a level with not too many major strats. There's a couple of like small things, and this world record proxy. But a lot of like the things that actually cut down on time in this level are like bits of camera manipulation used to be able to get seal snowballs to come at you a lot quicker.
Thanks, bro.
Aside from that, there's a couple of like small, like tiny optimizations for Bentley, but overall his movement's pretty basic. Wire. Coming up at the start of Frozen Altars, we have another corpse proxy. After that, we have pressing square for a few seconds. You will see what I mean when it comes. I'm going to try to go for a cool optimization right here. And it was kind of slow, but I got it. And then I did that. That was cool. So that area of the ground there on the pyramid, you can only land on if you're charge jumping and at some certain angles. Which is convenient, because you are able to just skip an okay amount of the level. So this is pressing square, the minigame. Now there's a specific tempo that works very well for fighting the Yeti. I believe the tempo it is about like 96 to 97 beats per minute. 97, yeah. So there's a few specific songs that work for it. I know that some people like to think of the song Africa by Toto. Others like to think of Beyonce, All the Single Ladies. Personally, the song that I think of is Sunday on the West Side by the Push Kings, which is a song by an obscure game known as Road Trip Adventure. I mostly think of that song because it is insanely corny. I've also found some like death metal songs that are that speed, so you can think of those as well. It's just, I mean, there's plenty of songs.
Spyro.
Coming up here in Charmbridge, we have a neat skip. If I don't get this, I got this. So you don't get the seat skip. If I didn't get that proxy, there's a wall with no collision that you can just enter. The story of that wall being found is wonderful, by the way. It consists of one of our older runners named Tugel. He was looking around for a way to skip a really dumb strat that was used in the game. And on stream, he ended up saying something along the lines of, I wonder if you can just clip through a wall somewhere around here.
I just bought some Sprout Ultra Super
And then
Pro
just
seeds
charge
from
jump
Bear
straight
with a
through that
bag of
wall.
gems. He said they were magic, but I can't make them do anything. You can have a
Like, he didn't actually know that was there or anything. It just kind of happened. It was just kind of a, oh. There's a couple strats that are used in this area. One is called a shroom boost, where you end up holding some charge jump inputs for just the right amount of time while you're on one of the mushrooms. And the other thing was a spin jump, in which Spyro has kind of this strange oblong hitbox that's a little bit higher up where his tail is at. So you're able to use that to your advantage to push them up ledges that you're very close to being able to make it up. There used to be more of those in the run, but they've been replaced by other means. That is so depressing. Yeah, that proxy is extremely risky to go for. But if you get it, it saves quite a bit of time. Let's try to go for that one. Nope. What about this one? Sure.
Oh,
Next level we have coming up is RNG. Or the boss is RNG. No, that's actually its name. Its name is RNG.
that's it. I've had enough.
Roar face.
This might be.
But in this boss fight, everything is out to get you. Scorch has a bunch of different, or like multiple different attacks that he can do. One is spawning fireballs, and the rest are spawning eggs with specific enemies in them. You can spawn crabs, you can spawn weasels with TNT. You can spawn like these weird like sunseed things. And he can spawn Buzz. The best RNG to have, also explaining Bentley, Bentley can give you two different types of ammo. He can give you green ammo, which gives you 1 damage, or that it deals 1 damage. You get 1 shot and it's a homing attack. Or you have the red ones where each one deals 1 damage. You get 50 of them. Yeah, you can kind of see where it's going. They don't home in, but it's way better to get them. So good RNG in there is generally getting like fireballs every time. And getting red rockets. Bentley was really nice during this round. My RNG wasn't that bad. And yeah, I call those enemies like sunseeds because they're similar to the sunseeds that you end up planting in Cloud Spires. This is probably my favorite level in the game. There's a bunch of different strats that are used throughout this level. Some way harder than others.
Would you like to see?
Right here, we're going to get a swim in air from being pushed up by this gem. This allows us to get 3 eggs pretty quickly. Got one right there. One is right down here. And the last one's the thief egg. Now, a special thing about Crystal Islands is that there is a turtle that floats in the air. That's cool. Not what I was going to say. This N-level guy has one of the largest text hitboxes in the game.
Here, you can have.
So you can just be all the way back here and he'll still give you the egg. No. If I didn't flop there, I could have had a chance. I was trying to go for a big skip on the slide, where you can actually skip the entirety of the slide. Goes by the name of Quad S or Slide Skip Skip Skip. Instead, I just got to do Slide Skip, which is very standard, pretty easy to grasp. You fall off the slide, you land on a different part of the slide. That was still pretty good, Quick Thief. At the start of Desert Ruins, we have a nice little squeeze proxy off of Scorpions. That is probably the easiest proxy to do in the game. Slide Skip Skip, there is like, you're able to go up on the edge of the slide and save a couple seconds. It's very difficult though. Alright, so that's probably one of my favorite strats.
Hi, Spyro.
So that strat with the helmet, I like to call Desert Helmet, because that is the second helmet proxy in this game. There's one that is like the Desert Ruins helmet itself, outside in Midnight Mountain, that's used in any percent skip, getting like 70 eggs, or actually it's close to 80 eggs. I think it is 80. 81. But this one inside the level is just used to skip to that one egg. Not many people do it though. I think I'm actually the only one that does it because I find it semi-consistent. There are various strats to do in all of Desert Ruins, though. A bunch of ones that save a little bit of time, but are fairly difficult. Next up, we have Haunted Tomb with another skip directly to the end of the level. A common name for this one is door skip, but there's a specific variation with it where you jump on the door while it's going down, or which we call fast door. And I barely missed it. So that's what the standard looks like.
I see you.
up here, there's a specific spot that you can charge jump to just skip the whole slide. Usually, a good point of reference to look at is the skull that's on the ground. Right here is a proxy that I didn't actually get to properly. Ooh. Hi. I've never seen that Anubis just stand there like that.
The first
So for a lot of people, this is probably one of the hardest level, or like the hardest mini games in the run, or yeah, in the run as well as like casually. Well, not necessarily the first one, but the second one is. Tanks 2 has been known to kill a lot of people's runs in the
you may
past,
know.
and concerns a major route change between some of like the top runners and some of the not as top runners. Usually this is traded off with a boss fight in Spooky Swamp that is a lot more consistent, or a lot like easier to be consistent at. But this saves a decent bit of time, so it's hard to just avoid it.
That was.
The next level we have is Dynamines. Actually, the last level of the run. This level has a nice big string of unintended strats. They look very cool when they're actually put together correctly. First off, what we have is a window jump off of this window. Angle specific, hold square next. Then we got a squeeze proxy off of this axle. And we have a flop over the cliff, and we're at the end of the level.
Well. Jump and jump. One of them done.
From here, the rest of the level is pretty standard. It's grabbing both the eggs in a water area. Of course, this being a water tunnel and the one behind the cracked wall. Coming up after that is Sorceress. And I will finally be released from this tragedy. Now, the second half of this has been pretty good, thanks to your guys' encouragement. I thank you for that. I actually want one of these. I don't trust Sorceress. Now, up until more recently, this boss has been considered inconsistent, RNG, and pretty bullshit. But over time, we have developed strategies to make this boss a lot more consistent. Sadly, I don't know most of them, but they do exist. Oh, I got tank skip. Also, you can get proxies off of Agent 9's hitbox there. It's not, the proxies aren't really useful for anything, but they look kind of funny, so I'm gonna do them to waste time while he shoots down stuff. And that's time. So that was an experience. Thanks for the GGs, guys. Actually, I will look at the time.
Spyro, you've just defeated the sorceress, rescued the dragon eggs, and restored freedom to the lost dragon world.
Yeah, that seems about right.
What do you plan to do next?
101.
Perhaps a nice vacation in
It didn't go as planned, but oh well.
You're a real comedian sometimes, Bentley.
And yeah, you can get proxies high enough, but you can't flame down the weapons.
You know, I still have to find the rest of the dragons.
Yeah,
Hunter seems to have disappeared again.
that was Spyro 3100 egg,
You
and
haven't seen him, have you?
I actually can't think of what's next off the top of my head. But thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more runs.